What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 14. We're starting today's stuff by officially ending the summer transfer window. As you can see, all our negotiations in the summer window. It was a long one. It was a long window full of lots and lots of departures, including for a club record fee, £25 million. Naby Keita going to Inter Milano, Da Cunha left to Hertha Berlin. We loaned a load of our young players out as well. And as for incomings, of course, I'd say the two big signings, of course, were Levia coming in from Southampton, but also as well Lorenzo Colombo arriving as well. Of course, Akoli signed. We signed Dragovic on a free transfer, the regen of Luka Modric, Spinazzola on that left-hand side as well. But yeah, now our team up to 4-star as I officially changed the position of Alexandro to LCB as well. I like that, I really do, like a back three, especially in modern day footballs, you got to have someone that's comfortable bringing the ball out of the back line. Alexander is very comfortable on the ball. He's not going to pace anymore, and he's not got a stamina either. So in our system, playing three at the back, our wide midfielders, they need pace, and they need good stamina. Sandro may have had it a few years ago, but now 33 years old, he definitely doesn't. So LCB for his final professional year or two. I think that suits him down to the ground in our current system. Anyway, heading into the first game of today's episode here, Torino away in Turin for our first win of the season, and heading into the game, worst possible start, 26 minutes in, Briel and Bolo with the opener as Torino get themselves in front, down by a goal. And I was thinking, this is shades of last season, spent, not a lot of money in the summer, but there was still a lot of change, and yet we kind of stumbled out of the blocks last season. We're doing the same thing again, so really want to turn this game on its head as soon as possible and get ourselves in front. We had a chance soon afterwards where I absolutely spurned it. Would have been one of the best assists of the save there. Profundi with a scoop chip over the top. Sadly couldn't take the finish on though, as it was still 1-0. But in the second half, we did get a little bit of luck. Sometimes you just need a bit of luck, and we definitely got it. 10 minutes after the restart, Lucas Collar's strike deflects off the post, becomes straight back to Pat. And Cutrone, now official club captain, makes it 1-1 and fires our leveller in. 64 minutes in, now tied at 1-1, and this was where momentum really swung in our favour. I talk about this a lot, there's always been this big debate in the FIFA community. Handicap, scripting, momentum. Are they in the game? Should they be in the game? Well, let's be honest, scripting shouldn't be in the game. And he said, are they in the game? How important are they? How overpowered are they? I've mentioned before, over the past couple of years, I never used to believe this, but I do now kind of subscribe to the idea that handicap may well be in the game based on matches I've had where I've been a far weaker side, and yet I've played like a 5-star team off the park, and there's been times where I've done my RTG and I'm now in like the final year and I'm 5-star and I've got a dominant stacked team, and yet I'm beating the teams around the top alongside me, and yet I'm getting played off the park by like a 3.5-star team, bottom of the table, So handicap, I've kind of got around to the idea of believing it probably isn't a game now. Scripting, no, just don't believe that. But momentum, definitely. And that game there kind of summed it up for me, really. We fell behind early. Had I quite a tough start, but as soon as I got that leveller, that was it. Like, momentum just totally flipped. It was all Como, and I knew we'd going to win the game, and we would, courtesy of, to be fair, a bit of a lucky one for a rebound. So yeah, Como, first win of the season, away in Turin, and now looking for our first home win of the season as well against Salernitana. Heading into the game, took a really early 2-goal lead. Ibrahim Bamba. I'm going to make this guy my vice captain, I really do feel it's a great tip for you guys. Well, if you're doing a career mode, you're doing an RTG as well, you should write this down if you can't memorise it. But you know who your captain's going to be, because he'll probably start the majority of your games for you. And of course you can assign a captain in the team management screen. You can't assign a vice captain. If you take off a player who's wearing the captain's armband for you within a game, it'll just randomly go to a player, I believe, if they have the leadership trait, that's a guaranteed lock, they'll get the captain's armband as long as no one else does. If there's no one with the leadership trait, I believe it then goes off of mental stats, so the highest combination of mental stats, so that goes for aggression, interceptions, those stats there, that will then determine who gets the captain's armband. But if you're going to start a game and you don't have your official captain out there, so a really quick tip I would give is know who your vice captain's going to be. It's a really cool way, because every team, not every team, but most teams have a captain, a vice captain, and occasionally some will go down the pecking order to like third or fourth. But most teams will have, well, everyone's got a captain, but most teams will have a vice captain as well. I really do recommend that. If you're doing an RTG, don't just know who your captain is, know who your vice captain is as well, because seasons are long, seasons are grueling. Everyone's going to need a rest at some point. If your captain's out, know who your vice captain is. I'm going to give it to Bamba. I love Bamba. He scored his first goal of the season as we got the win against Salernitana. And in the following game, midweek, taking on Roma, he would wear the armband for this one here with Cutrone out, because we had to rest our players for this one here. Our team is still very small in terms of squad depth, so when we do need to rotate our side, the chances are we're probably going to lose. We were leading, to be fair, but threw it away in the second half. Yet Roma, late on in the game, flipped the script and went from a goal down to leading by 2-1, and then with 42 minutes to go, right from kickoff, really, Roma coming through, and Marcus Thuram gets his second goal in about 3 minutes. So, yeah, really threw that game away there, away in Roma at the Stadio Olimpico. So, loss and our winning run, if you will, ended after just 2 games. Gvardiol with the open, and now, of course, as we know, the world's most expensive defender in history. And I got to be honest here, probably deserved as well. I mean, this kid is something special, man. Like, seriously, I watched him play at the World Cup with Croatia, of course. I'm sure we all did. And he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant for Croatia. And how old is he? 21? 21! I think nowadays, sometimes, because of the fact that football is becoming such a young man's game, which is great, we see more and more youngsters getting chances, quicker than ever before, basically. We forget that 21 is such a young age. He's already had, I think, 2 full seasons with RB Leipzig as well. This guy is a phenomenal young defender. His reading of the game, his feel for the game at 21 years old, already with like 3 or 4 full seasons of international, club level and European football as well. I know Man City have paid a pretty penny to get him, but there's no doubt about it. Unless he really struggles to adapt to life in the Premier League and life in England, he's going to really get the return. Man City are really going to get the return on investment there, because he's a heck of a talent. He really, really was. Such a great player. And of course, learning under Pep Guardiola as well. I really feel he can elevate his game there at the Etihad Stadium and take even more steps forward as well. So I've seen a lot of tweets. I've seen a lot of comments about Gvardiol and whether he's worth the money at such a young age. In my opinion, the answer is definitely yes. If he adapts to life in England and he shows that willingness to learn on a Pep Guardiola, I think he's got that mentality. I mean, we're just speculating here, but I think he has that mentality of being humble enough to know, even though he's already done quite a few good things, leading Croatia to a third place finish in the World Cup, obviously 2 full years with RB Leipzig, including Champions League knockout football as well. I think he's still humble enough to want to do more. He's now got a major honour, of course, doesn't he, with RB Leipzig winning the Cup last year too. So yeah, I think for me, Gvardiol, it's a great signing by Man City, despite the amount of money they had to spend to get him. If he learns under Pep Guardiola, along with, Ruben Diaz in the back line as well. And, Ruben Diaz, one of the most expensive signings coming from Benfica, but what a signing he's been. I mean, he is, in my opinion, now I know this is a debatable, he's, in my opinion, one of the top 3 centre-halves in the world. Absolutely world-class, this guy. To learn and play alongside Ruben Diaz, he's got other members of that Man City back line. Well, based on the tactical shape they play, of course, it chops and changes, but even so, he's got some great, more senior defenders to learn under, such as John Stones and Kyle Walker. Yeah, I'm excited to watch his career unfold at the Etihad, man. I really am. He's a heck of a talent, and fair play. A lot of people talking about it. Most expensive defender in world history now, but in my opinion, like I said, it all depends on whether he adapts to life in England. If he does, man, the sky is the limit for this young Croatian. 21. I want to say that again. 21. He's so young. Anyway, still following the loss to Rome, we bounced back. Yes, wins against Udinese at home and in away against Fiorentina as well. In between that, you would have seen I've sent my scout out for this year. I'm not sending the 2-star scout out anymore. I think we sort of eclipsed that quality of player that he'd pick up for us, but I'm sending my 4-star scout once again, looking for physically strong players. Last year we were looking at Italy, but of course, because I mentioned before with Como, we're a Northern Italy club. We're based in North Italy. Como is actually on the border of Switzerland, I believe. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Italians and Swiss fans of mine, but I'm pretty sure Como goes into Switzerland as well. The Lake Como, I should say. So, yeah, we're going to look for some Swiss players as well, because, you know, we've got just as much of a reach of Switzerland as Italy, I would say, right now. So, that's another great tip as well I give for those of you that are doing RTGs. You know, it's kind of unrealistic for a club of our stature to maybe Indonesia, because of the ownership group are Indonesian with Como, but it would be kind of unrealistic for us to be scouting places like, you know, Chile or Bolivia or whatever. But, you know, if you are doing an RTG, your club's got limited resources, limited like scouts, limited scouting knowledge. Be realistic with it. Where are you based in the country, and where are you based in the world? For a club like ours, Switzerland, Italy, I don't think you can scout Liechtenstein, but Slovenia, Croatia, that's the sort of runoff we should be looking for, really. Bosnia, where we're based at right now. So it's like if you're doing like a Scandinavian career mode, for example, don't go scouting, you know, Brazil or whatever, because the chances are, unless you got the funds, the club probably doesn't have that kind of reach, if you will, that commercial pull, that commercial reach, the financial resources as well. So look in Scandinavia. You know, say you're a Danish team, you're managing FC Copenhagen. Look at Sweden. Look at Norway. You know, look at the nations that are around you and bordering you, if you will. It's a lot more realistic that way, I feel. So anyway, yeah, back-to-back wins would follow as we got ourselves back on track. And then the following game, this is a really interesting one. Atalanta away from home. And there's a saying I used to say quite often, which is luck will balance itself out. This is definitely one of those games. We took the lead. Atalanta scored a rebound goal. And then with 15 minutes to go, we got one of our own. Yeah, tried to peg the ball across the 6-yard area for an easy tap-in to give us the game winner. And God knows why Lorenzo Colombo's claiming that, because there's absolutely no way it's going down as his goal. Honestly, that is a clear own goal. Yet Lorenzo shrugs off his man. I love how physical this guy is. Keeper gets a touch on the ball, but it deflects right off his man, Soppy. Great young fullback. And into the back of the net. So, yeah, we get ourselves the winner there, courtesy of a very lucky own goal. But now 4 wins on the trot for Como, and finally starting to go in some really good form to start this season off. So, yeah, following game, Sassuolo away from home. Our final game on today's episode, aiming to make it 5 wins in a row to start off the season, where we've been really impressive to begin here. Heading into this game, we went at Sassuolo right from the very get-go here, aiming to extend our winning run. Great save by the keeper, keeps it at 0-0, and then from the following corner, Lucas whips it in, and Alberto Sherry rattles the top of the crossbar as we're still tied at 0-0. The goal was coming though, it was just a matter of time. I just knew, keep on attacking, we'll get that breakthrough, and with 4 minutes to go here, awesome chance on the break. Lucas slides for Alberto Sherry, and it's the first of the year for the 29-year-old, I think he is now. So yeah, Como in front right before the break. And I also mentioned this as well, like if you're playing well, if you're playing really well, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Forget what I'm going to say. Who cares about the tip I'm going to give there? You know the gist of what I was going to say. Oh my god. I totally forgot about that. That man flew. 8 minutes after the restart, and Sassuolo are back on level terms. I totally forgot about this. That man flew. I was literally spending about 4 or 5 minutes just going through different camera angles in the instant replay section, getting as many angles for you here as I could find. Lucas Collar absolutely flies. I don't know what the world record is for a long jump, but I think Lucas Collar is definitely making a claim. He might want to set a new one. Oh my god, he's got at least 8 yards there, at least 8 yards, possibly 9. That is absolutely ridiculous. The elevation there from Lucas, the vertical, unbelievable. Collar goes flying. In the end, after that incident there, I couldn't regain my composure. We drew the game 1-1, so our winning run ends after 5. We'll take the point. It's still been a really good start to the season for Como, and for those curious, his jumping stat, it's only 58. I think he needs a mid-season upgrade, EA. I'm going to check FIFA. If he's not got 94 at the bare minimum in the next winter update, I'm going to be very disappointed. But that will end today's episode of this Summer Career, guys. Big fan, watch, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like. So you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Summer Career Mode, aiming to keep our good run going very soon. My goodness.